What's up, everybody? Welcome to Tectonic Takes. I'm your usual host here, Favi. What's up? I'm here with the guy you already know. What's up, Sass? Welcome.
What's up? What's up? Not much
Hey,
to talk about, but what's up?
yeah, we're here on different coasts, and I appreciate the time. It's the late night over in Saz, Saz land.
Yeah. It's 11:45. So
Thank you. I appreciate
yeah, no
that.
problem, no problem.
And thanks to all the fans, because we're gonna be able to put this out as quickly as possible. Hopefully, I was hoping it was gonna be a fun game, to talk about, and we can put it out tomorrow. But you guys are probably not even gonna listen to this because it was a really boring game.
Yeah, yeah. I actually, you know what? There is someone I got to give a shout out to, like right off the bat. I don't know their name, but whoever the cameraman is for like NBCSN, they really took the heart and soul of the name, the Earthquakes, and decided that the entire live stream was going to be as if an earthquake was happening. I literally thought I had to keep checking my pulse mid game. I'm like, is there a stroke happening? Like, what's happening? The whole game was like,
You're right.
I don't know what their streams have been terrible all year. It's like, actually, sometimes they don't even stream. I gotta go like to a Spanish channel to find
Right. And the craziest thing about it is this is a professional sports team, right? This is not even a college team. So it's like,
or like a USL team. Yeah.
Right. NBC Bay Area has unfortunately dropped the ball a lot of times on this. And that's a local level. It's not really a national level because this is the Bay Area team. And I've talked to Ted Ramey about this. I don't know if you know who Ted Ramey is, but he's the voice of KNBR for the San Jose Earthquakes. So he's with the usual kind of like the fat cats in radio and things like that. The reason they don't push soccer is because a lot of these guys in the Bay Area are the baby boomers, right? They're a lot of the 49er golden years and like the Giants golden years and the Warriors even back in the 70s. So these guys don't really have an interest in new sports because they're in the older side of things. And all the new young people are moving to Austin, right? So it's definitely a situation where the Quakes are always thrown to the side of the road, and we have to just deal with it for now.
I don't remember what game it was, but it was like at the 12th minute, they just aired a commercial, and I'm like, what? And then it just like, it was like a 8 minutes worth of commercial. And like, okay, when they come back, like they'll just start the 12th minute. Maybe something went wrong, and then just jump to the 20th minute. I'm like, all right, well, cool, no one scored, I guess. Like, it was ridiculous.
The announcers, Anthony Passarelli, Daniel Slayton, Chris Dangerfield, even Joe Cannon last week, they do the best of it, right? Like
I like them. Yeah.
Right. They do a great job, I think, personally, not being too much of homers and giving some insight. Daniel Slayton did a great job today. I mean, boring game, but man, they had some interesting things to say. Or Joe Cannon last week with asking questions. Christian Espinoza was asking questions, so definitely something to look forward to. But let's go into the game. First off, when you saw the lineup, Saz, what did you think?
I was really happy to see Ibo
Base.
Yeah. I'm just calling him Jeremy.
Jabo. You call it Jabo.
Yeah. And then I'm like, cool, that's exactly what I wanted. And then like when I looked at the lineup a second time and I saw Cal wasn't starting, I'm just like, oh, we're gonna be in for a night. Like, because I was saying to Jacob last week on our episode, like for the stuff, it was like I wanted to rest players because I feel like this was a game we could have done, but we both agreed that it was like a game that we can't go in, rest a bunch of players because we won 3 games and then blow the game. But we just smart game management. We were expecting like a 3-goal win, and like that's just not what happened.
Do you remember when you guys were on the podcast last time? I said I'm not a really big fan of this move because it's going to take away Cade Cowell minutes, and look what happened 2 games in.
So, I didn't think it happened.
Yeah, I personally, and then I told myself, no, maybe he's taking away Carlos Fierro's minutes, but no, he's taking away Cade Cowell's minutes. And when Cade came on, that dude looked so rusty. His first touch was the worst I've ever seen it. Yeah, so not a great game from Cade Cowell for me. Jeremy Bobase did okay. I felt like it's the same problem that all the strikers have been having, where he just doesn't get the service that he needs. Unfortunately, Christian Espinoza went back to Christian Espinoza of this year, just looking for this, I guess, cut in that he's never going to get. And then he switched sides and then tried it again. So it was like, and then we have Shea DiMaria Salinas on the other side trying to go through like 3 defenders. And sometimes it works. And credit to him. The last time we played Vancouver in MLS's back, it worked, right? So
yeah.
maybe he
I mean,
thought
everything worked back then.
yeah. But yeah, what did you think of the game overall? We're kind of just going overall first, and then we'll go pinpoint.
Actually, you brought up some points. I think I want to talk about the first one, the striker problem. I
Yeah.
think this really does highlight our style of play. Just does not suit having maybe either one striker or a striker. And I think Jeremy did good, just like in his last week. I think he did good in his moments.
Yeah.
Where like he received the ball or it was Jeremy time, but
yeah,
you can still see he's not really gelling with the team quite yet, and it's not quite his style of play. Like you can see how he could be, like how he can suit us in certain areas, but you can see how other areas it's just like, oh whoa, you guys play like really weird. And then to your Cal point, actually to finish the striker point, like that kind of makes you feel for like Husin and like some of these other guys we've had through the years where it's like, oh, they're not doing anything for us. So it's like, or once you go through 4 or 5 strikers, you're just kind of like, well, maybe it's the system.
Yeah. Saz, let me tell you this right now. You know who he looked up? Like, let me tell you what he did good. All right. Then tell me who you thought he was. Oh, he was great in the hold up play with his back towards goal. Oh, he hit the post. If he was just a little better or a little more lucky, he would have made that goal. It looks like he might be on a little bit of a goal drought, but his hold up play is great. What striker am I naming right now?
Oh, I mean, that could be a lot of that. I mean, like
for the Quakes, who was someone for the Quakes like that sounds like that? Hasn't scored in a bit, but he has great hold up play. He could switch the play in the field.
Rios?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're basically, I hate to make the comparison, but this is probably the game that Jeremy Ebobisse had today is the best Andy Rios has played. Like, let's say if Andy Rios was in that position, it's like his peak. But Jeremy Ebobisse played today is Andy Rios' peak. So great hold up play, passed the ball great, but just couldn't get the final touch in the final third. And that's looks like we've had a $900,000 striker the whole time.
Yeah. Jacob and I agree that Rios is better at an attacking mid position.
I agree too. I agree with that.
But to your Cal point, I agree and I disagree. I agree about the touch being bad, especially when he first came on. And I think that happens a lot when he comes on as a sub. Like it takes him a minute or two to get in the game. So I've gotten used to that at this point. Every time he's come on as a sub, it's never been an immediate impact. He needs at least like 5-10 minutes. I will say though, it's like he just changes the game by being in there. Like it is an outlet every time. Like I literally was laughing to myself because there's got to be times where he's just thinking to himself like, oh my god, because like every time it just like we don't know what to do. It's like, oh, Cade, you're within a 35-yard radius. Chase the ball.
Right.
And he almost gets to it every time. So it's like that's why I think he should be starting. Like this game, I think. And this actually leads to, I have a few questions for you. This leads to my first question. I think Cal should have started and Shea should have came off the bench just for like leg and minute, especially because we have a game in a couple days. And then after that, we have a game in like 3 days, which is like ridiculous. My first question for you is, do you think Almeida got it right tonight?
I think definitely not. I think this is the problem that we're going to have the rest of the season. What pieces do you start? And that's a problem the Quakes haven't had in a long time, right? This is something that we should be happy about. But when we can't beat Vancouver at home, it like largest loom, right? Or like you feel like you need to play the right pieces, at least to get a 1-0 win. Like if we had a 1-0 win, we'd be so happy, right? We'd be like, oh, we're in the playoffs, we're 7 plays. So it's just the job needs to get done because it's not going to get easier from here. What about you, Saz? Do you think he got the job done today?
It's a cop-out answer, so I'm gonna give it like kind of a better way of saying it. I don't think he got it wrong. And what I mean by that is I don't think the 3-back was the move for today's game. Just because if you look how they were playing like defensively and how they were packing, I think the midfield, they were really doing a good job of holding that width. And I think that would have kind of like caught us out, especially on the counterattacks. It would have been 3-on-3 or 4-on-3 every time. So I think the 4 in the back was a smart choice today. And I think it showed that, I think it exposed 3 things. I think that our center backs, our 3 center backs and Beeson, who's our left back hybrid. I think they operate best in the 3-back. I don't think they do particularly well in a 4-back. I think Abi Costas is best suited in a 4-back. I don't think he does as well in a 5-back.
I agree.
And then I think it really highlights a problem that we need to fix which is how does our offense work if we are in a 4-back? Because every game this season that we've had a 4-back, we've had zero like creativity in our offense.
Yeah, that's a big problem. Just because the Vancouver Whitecaps, I hate to say it, when they're missing their best DP, Cavallini, they're in a different league than LAFC or Seattle Sounders or the Portland Timbers. And some would say that we're in that Vancouver Whitecaps league, but with when Almeida changed to this 5-back system, it was to play the Seattle Sounders. It was to play the Portland Timbers and the LAFCs because they just have this attacking firepower. And today, I think we brought a bulletproof vest to a gunfight today. All right. That's what happened.
That's a great way to put it.
And
that's a great way
we just didn't need all that back there. And that was evident when he took Tanner Beeson out for Cade Cowell in the 50th minute. So I think he realized, oh, snap. I think we overcompensated their attack. And that's why we got a clean sheet today, but we got also no goals today. So this is, I believe, JT Marcinkowski's only second clean sheet of the year, if I'm correct. And
probably,
it's a happy day. I mean, we get a point, but if it was a point against, I would say LAFC, but we already beat them. But if it was a point against, let's say, like Sporting Galaxy, I would have been ecstatic. But it was Vancouver, right? So teams that we should be beating. Where's Marcos Lopez as? What do you think of that?
Oh, see, I was saying to myself, in a 4-back system, he needs to be starting at the left back position. And even though I thought Alanis was our best of the 3 center backs today, I think it should be Beeson and Nathan starting in a 4-back system, just because Alanis gets exposed for pace, even though I thought he, again, had the best game of the 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's only Almeida. Only Almeida's got to know, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if he's preserving legs or if it's his calf injury, plus playing probably 15 times more minutes than he thought he would in the Gold Cup. Like,
or Marcos Lopez, in the Copa America, right?
Yeah, Copa America. Yeah.
I think Almeida is very superstitious when it comes to lineups. He keeps the same lineup until he loses. And since we're on this 8 unbeaten streak, I think he sees it as a positive and he's going to keep the same lineup. But like I said earlier, we just were too protected. I feel like we could, hindsight's 2020, right? If I would have changed this lineup a little bit, I would have started Cade Cowell over Chofis Lopez personally.
Yeah.
And then I would have moved Remedi in, put Ewell up and took out Chofis and maybe took out Shea and put Chofis there on the left and then have them switch with Espinoza. But I can't see how Shea Salinas is still in the starting lineup today. I know he's the captain over Jackson Ewell, which is actually a little shocking to me. I thought Jackson was the in and out captain of this team, but I guess Shea Salinas is that guy now. Could mean that Jackson Ewell might be in the doghouse. What do you think of that?
I agreed with you initially, and then I had a thought about it, and I'm about to have a hot take. Like This might get me banned from the stadium. Hot take. I think Ewell should have been the one dropped. If I'm gonna be completely honest, I'm gonna be like these like I get you're kind of coming back and you're kind of in the room, but like I was just like. Even the earlier games in the season, like, and I've been watching him recently, like, what is he offering us?
Yeah.
Like, what is he offering? He's like, Chofis is like lazy. Like, he's been working harder these last 2 games. Don't get me wrong, but he's lazy, and like, if he's not on the ball, it's rough. But when he's on the ball, it's great. But Ewell, it's just like, let me run to the ball, let me play back to the center back, side to side. Like, it's not helping us. Like, Judson has a role. It is, let me get in everyone's face and do this and that. Remedi is a little bit of that, but I feel like in offense, he's looking to push forward. Like we don't get that enough from Ewell when he's not on the U23 national team.
And we're seeing.
I agree. Yeah,
we're seeing.
I agree. Cal should start.
Got it. I'll go back to you 1 second. We're seeing this regression from the League's Nation Cup till now, and he's not like snapping out of this. There was one moment where I think Andy Rios got the ball back in their half because Andy was playing the 10, passes it to Ewell, and then Ewell just straight goes to Alanis. Doesn't even like think about going forward, and there was a possibility of a counterattack. He just goes straight to Alanis, and then it would work if our center backs were faster at passing and moving the ball. But they are so slow, or this game, they were really slow at moving that ball around the back line that it was just like a wasted pass back. I mean, it just slows down our offense. I like some Remedi. I agree with you because I like Remedi in that role because maybe Remedi topples over, gets a foul, and then all of a sudden we got a free kick to go forward. So it's just personally, I think you're right. Remedi brings more to the table for us because what if he gets one of those free kicks that he topples over in their half? Exactly. Then all of a sudden we got a set piece to maybe Nathan gets on the end of a cross, right? So Jackson Yule's not even giving us that. So I agree with you. I feel like Jackson Yule should have been outside the lineup. I think Shea Salinas is up there with them. With him, I feel like just was completely ineffective this game, personally, but defensively sound. So this is what kind of the trade-offs. Saz, go ahead and finish off your comment. You feel like Cade should have started?
Yeah, well, that gave me a couple thoughts. I actually like Shea this game more than I did the previous two. And I feel like he gives us a couple options offensively, but yeah, I think he should have been the sub this game. Especially for his legs, and it's gonna be a really tough next 3 games. As far as the play that you just described with Rios and Yule, that is what has been plaguing American soccer for so long. They just think as a defensive midfielder that is your job, and that's why I make the argument that McKennie might arguably be our best player just because like the way he plays. But that's not Quakes. But it is very frustrating when a defensive midfielder just kind of runs into space, plays a 1-2, and then he like starts checking his shoulders. Like, what are you doing now? Or and I think switching play is very important. But when that's all you're doing, especially in your own back line versus like they're attacking third, that's when I think you should be switching a lot of play, and they're attacking third. But then when it's just like for just passing for passing's sake, it's like what are you offering us? It is, and it's going to be hard to drop him. But also, with all that being said, Trophy's is going to be banned for the next game because of the yellow card.
Right.
So if Remedi is healthy, and he's good to go, I think you start Yule at the 10, and then Remedi and Judson at the 2 6s or the 8s. And I think those two should be the starting 8/6s the rest of the year.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I think Jackson needs to show us something before we put him back in Remedi's spot, because Remedi was tracking back the most. He had the most distance covered when he was playing full minutes for us. He had the most fouls, received. So that's, yes, that kind of breaks up the game and the flow, but since we have Nathan now, that creates a lot more opportunities to get a goal, because that guy is great at heading the ball or getting some sort of body part on the ball to get it in. Evident last game. But yeah, I just think that going forward, I agree with you, Saz. I think if you're not dropping Shea, you're going to have to drop Yule. Unless you go to a 4-back system, but I don't think Almeida wants to go to that type of system. And I haven't been, Lucho, I think, had a better game. Abakasi's had a better game today, but I'm not happy with his link up play in the final third. His crosses are not
I like him defensively.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And that kind of just takes out our whole right side of the offense. And I think that's why Espinoza switched over and then switched right back, because I just think the link up play in the final third from that right back position is not what it needs to be. And that's why I'm like, hey, why can't we just move Shea somewhere in the right back? And then, or maybe when Tommy Thompson comes back, we see Marcos Lopez in the left and then the right. Still, I went ahead and I said that he was going to be out today. I was completely wrong, but MLS.com was wrong as well. So I was like, oh, okay. But no big deal. So going to the game now, Saz, what did you initially think of the first 25 minutes? They're looking at my notes here. The Vancouver Whitecaps, they were getting us on counterattacks. We looked pretty vulnerable on the counters, and it just seems like they were getting some nice through balls through the middle. That was kind of our weakness. What'd you think?
So I would say the first maybe 20 seconds, I'm like, I saw Shea make a run, and I'm like, oh, we're aggressive. And then the next like 20 plus minutes, I'm like, oh, yeah, right. I think it's a mix of, we're on a hot streak. We were at home and we're playing the worst team in the conference and probably the easiest opponent. And I have this because it's MLS, anything can happen, but statistically speaking. So I think this is the first game in a very long time we haven't gone into it with a chip on our shoulders. This is the first time we've entered a match and we are like the favorites.
Yeah, we were the favorites, Vegas favorites.
Yeah. And like I don't even know how long. Like there's probably been 1 or 2 games where we're like, yeah, we should. We could. But this one's like,
yeah.
This one was like, all right, we'll see you next week when there's another challenge. Like, so I think we kind of came out lackadaisical, and they pressed hard, and I mean, good for them. They played hard, and we didn't wake up from it.
Yeah, that was definitely a tough game to watch. I felt like the Quakes needed someone to kind of get the ball over the top, just like a Cade Cowell, because they were doing a high press, and Cade Cowell versus a high press means goals or at least opportunities. Yeah. And maybe they saw that before the game, like, oh snap, Cade Cowell's not starting. Okay, we can deploy a high press, and who's gonna beat us? But Chofis Lopez, no way. Like Shea Salinas,
had like 3 runs and he got caught up to every time. And I'm like, let's go. Like I'm rooting for him. And then he got caught up. I'm like, damn it.
But in all honesty, Cade Cowell needs to be on the field so they can't do this high press. And unfortunately, if he hasn't been playing his best ball, or if he has a first touch of kind of Giasa Yardes, 5 years ago, we still need him out there because they're scared of him. They know of him, and that's where I think Almeida got the most strong.
It changes the game. It changes the game, and it changes the dynamic, and it changes how they can press. And it just, again, even if he's not like playing well, like it's creating chances, and that's like been one kind of knock on his game for me, is when he's not having those like crazy moments. He starts to get frustrated, and he tries doing too much, and he tries playing hero ball, and then he starts to hurt us. I think he needs to recognize that his pace and his runs behind are opening space for us, and it's helping out his teammates. So to be the role player, like ×2 when his touch isn't working, that's it. That's his next step in accepting that.
And he picked up another yellow card this game, so definitely he does get frustrated out there, and he's a young guy, so it makes sense. I mean, he is going to learn that. And being an all-star, I bet you have all this pressure on you. I mean, the commissioner picked you. It wasn't like the fans picked you. The commissioner picked you. So
exactly,
definitely, there's some added pressure in it. And I bet he's not feeling well that he's not starting. So definitely a lot on his shoulders. The set pieces look kind of creative today. I thought we could have gotten some goal opportunities on these set pieces. I just don't think maybe the shooter or the guy who was kicking the ball into the net, or the guy who's shooting the ball, right? Shooter McGavin, was always hitting a player. He was always hitting a player, and it was like, oh man, like come on, get a deflection or something. But I think it happened to Chofis, it happened to Shea, and it happened to Espinoza. So but I think the corner kicks are better. What do you think?
Man, I swear you're reading my mind, because that was the next point I wanted to talk about. Jacob and I used to have a running joke that also, if this is the first episode I'm watching, Jacob's my co-host on over on Aftershock. He can't make it today or tonight, but I used to have a joke that I would say like to all my friends, I'm like, guys, I'd rather just kick it out for a goal kick than get counterattacked on off our set pieces. But they've been looking better this year, and this game in particular, I wasn't happy with them because we went back to the whole like, let's try and do something creative and then deliver it in. And I feel like when you look at our last 2 signings, who are incredible at heading the ball, it's like, just deliver a ball in. Like, probably our best chance of the game was when Nathan won that header, and then Cal just barely couldn't get to the back post. And that was off like a straight up delivery. Like, I don't know when we have Wando, Nathan, Jeremy, Alanis decent at a point, at some point. Like, those are all people that are great at heading the ball. Why are we not just like sending it in with numbers and hoping we get to it? Like, that's what was frustrating to me. And God, these last like 3 games, Yule has been killing me on set pieces, dude. I don't remember the last time it didn't go out for a goal kick or like throw in or something. Like it's been like, it's so direct. It's like just like a laser, but not in like Espinoza's way where it's like a shot laser. Like his is just like a little bit of a loft, but then just straight, like no arc so that someone can get into it and head it, and not low enough so someone can get like a little deflection. It's just in that like no man's land where it's like nothing you can do with it.
So let me ask you this, as if you take out Jackson Yule, who's doing those long free kicks for you?
I mean, I feel like Alanis could, but I mean, if you
Alanis could, I think so. But you wouldn't want to take that away from the,
exactly. I mean, at the end of the game scenario like that, I want JT taking it realistically. Like if we're going for the goal, but I mean, Espinoza's been delivering good balls. Like I thought Chofis at the beginning of the year was. The last couple games, he's been really like all his have been like 10, 20 yards short. Not Abicasas.
Your favorite player. You're not even saying him. Your favorite
Fierro,
player,
yeah.
Fierro, can deliver it.
You know what? It's so funny because you're so right. Because I remember, and these are the dark days for me, where it was like it didn't matter how, it was like the most scuffed like stat line I've ever seen in my life. It was like the final like 9 games of the like 1 or 2 seasons ago. I don't know how, but Rios and Fierro just found a way to be on the stat sheet. Like they both could be having the worst game of their lives, but they just found a way to get on the like stat sheet, whether it was an assist or a goal. Like, and it was like at that point I was like, okay, I guess you can't take them out of the lineup because they are scoring. Like, right. Yeah. And I think Fierro and Rios do better in these like substitution roles. Like
I agree.
think Rios does better when he's like 20, 30 minutes left.
Right.
It's slowed down and he can do some hold up play. And I think Fierro's better when there's about 15, 20 minutes left where everyone's gassed. So they're running at his like regular pace.
Well, he in the second half when he came in, he sauced up one of the defenders. He went left, right, and then delivered a ball that was behind everybody. I was like, oh my God, like the easiest part. Like just like you sauced him up too many times that you messed up your own pass.
Exactly. It was, and I thought he was doing good at hold up play, but there have like throughout history, like history is probably my favorite subject I learned in school. Like the earthquakes, like media did like a P.T. Barnum level like scam on us when Fierro got signed, because I remember he couldn't play for the first like couple games because of like some green card issue or something.
Oh, I don't remember that. Yeah.
All they kept saying about this dude was, oh, he's so fast. Oh, he's so fast. Like he's lightning fast. Like, because we signed him around the same time we signed Rios. Like Rios is really creative, but this Fierro guy, you got to wait to see him. He is lightning fast.
Huh.
I swear, Jacob and I talk about it every week. The man looks like he's running in slow motion.
Like,
I don't get it.
It's crazy how even FIFA thought he was faster than what he was. So either he came to San Jose and just like turned off the burners, or I don't know, like maybe casual living, makes it a little less, you don't need to run from bar to bar in Guadalajara anymore. So you don't have to use the speed. But
yeah, I will say he's had some injuries and he's coming back from that. They're like every once in a blue moon, I'll get like a snippet of it and I'm like, oh, he is fast. And then like 9 times out of 10, like he did that sick move out like the Berbeta or Berbatov spin. Then like he got past everyone and then everyone got past him. And then I don't remember who did it. It might have been Yule sent like a long ball and like everyone thought he was offside and he got the ball and he's like dribbling 1-on-1 to the keeper and like 4 guys catch up to him and he has to play the ball negative. I remember screaming, come on, Fierro, come on, Fierro. Like I was even laughing because I'm like, oh, even I'm rooting for him. And just everyone caught up for him.
Yeah, it's just these guys are all missing that one final touch, right? So it's just unfortunate. And we saw it today again. Like there was 3 guys in the box. He sauced up that guy. Everybody in the stadium was like, ooh, ah, ooh, ah. And then one more time, ooh, and then misses the pass. It's like, oh no, come on, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this is a game where we're talking about a 0-0. I guess we got to look at the positives. Saz, do you have anything else that you really want to say to kind of wrap this game up?
Yeah, I mean, I've been repeating it the last like 5 weeks, like 6, 7, I guess 8, because we're on the 8-game unbeaten streak. You take this game in a vacuum and you put it in a vacuum chamber, and I'm pretty sure I said this last time I was on your podcast. It's like it's a great result, or not a great result, but you can look at the game like it happens during the season, right? Like you can't be perfect all season. You're gonna drop the ball. Like we still got a point.
Yeah,
but we dropped so many points early in the season. This like there's games where you gotta like steal points, and I feel like we kind of did versus LAFC, but like. This is a game you got to get the 3 points. And like, if we're looking at the end of season and we're like 2 to 5 points short of the playoffs, this is going to be one of the main games we're looking back and being like, darn, we wasted it.
And last year, 8 teams made the playoffs. This year, 7 teams make the playoffs. So we made it as the 8th seed last year. So this is a game where we do need to win. This is a game this is a game where Seattle wins. This is the games where the number 1 and number 2's 4-0s, 3-1s, they demolish these games. And if we want to be taken seriously, we need to be winning these games. And hopefully Almeida gets it right next week. But see, this is so weird about Almeida is that, okay, we tie Vancouver at home and then we have Minnesota and let's say we win Minnesota 3-1. And it's like, what happened in Vancouver? Right. So I I think the best analogy that we thought of today, or what I said, was we brought a bulletproof vest to a knife fight. We brought too many defenders to a team that was missing their best attacking player due to injury. So I didn't think that this was the best move on Almeida's end, and that's pretty much it for me for this game.
I mean, I liked his subs, like thinking like what he had, and like he was trying to go for the win, and I appreciate it. And he did it early.
Yeah.
This actually kind of leads into a question I have for you. Like, what do you think is like, how do we fix the offense when we're in a 4-back? Like, what is the change we make? Because like it just hasn't worked for us all year.
Yeah. If we're in a 4-back, I want to see Jeremy Abobasi out there. Maybe a Wando. I mean, as a second striker, or Andy Rios.
Change the formation because it's usually a 4-2-3-1.
Yeah, I would change it. I would do 4-4. So 1 second, let me think about this. This is all on the spot. 4-4-2. Yeah, 4-4-2.
Yeah.
Just do kind of like a standard 4-4-2. Give the guys the freedom to kind of roam around, and have Jeremy Abobasi and Wando up top. And then Chofis Lopez take him out of the lineup.
Yeah.
Cade Cowell on the left, Espinosa on the right, Remedi, Judson in the middle. That's I think what I want to see. Marcos Lopez on the left, Nathan, and like you said, Tanner Beeson. I think we're gonna need pace if it's only 4-back. And then on the right, if Tommy Thompson's ready to go, that's his spot. If he's not, Lucho Abacassis, I'm okay with that.
I like Abacassis in the 4-back. I'd love to see Tommy in the 3-back because that gives it like he doesn't have to worry about the defensive responsibility.
Yeah, that's true. We haven't seen Tommy on this yet.
And I think this suits him. Like he's athletic and he's really crafty in that final third.
Yeah.
So I think this will suit him. I really dislike the 4-3-3 formation. I think it's a really I think because Barcelona plays, especially in the US, like people like idolize it.
Right.
I could see this working for us if you put, especially if you have Cal and Espinosa on the wings, because you could just say stay high, and then we don't really play through the middle anyways, and we like to get our fullbacks up, so it could work for us. But a formation I'd like to see us play is like, if we're not playing the 3-back, I still think the 3-back's the best formation. But if we are playing the 4, a 4-2-2 with like 2 defensive mids, a left right mid, and then 2 strikers. And I'd have Cal and Jeremy up top, and then like Shea and Espinosa as the 2 wide guys, and then like Remedi and Judson as the 2 holding. And then it's just kind of like, that's like a chaos lineup we could kind of go into.
Right.
I don't know how much it would flow, but I think that's just an idea, like try out things.
Yeah.
But
and that's what we kind of need. I don't know, this is weird about me, but I like Cade more central. I think he's a winger, but for me, I think he brings his best abilities when he's dragging the 2 center backs wherever he's going, because he needs that type of help on him. So it opens up lanes for other guys like Abobasi or even Chofis Lopez to kind of sneak in the middle and just get a shot off on goal.
I think he's better central if there's 2 strikers. Somebody he can kind of play like a 1-2 off of, like someone checks and then he runs. You brought up a good point though earlier when you were saying like Seattle, like towards the end of the games, like those are the games Seattle finished. Those are the ones like Sporting finish. And that again, I keep saying that that's what's frustrating about this. It's like, if we were just like a bad team, like that's one thing, but like we show promise. And I think it was, I had a stat on one of our early episodes. It was like our first like 6 goal, or our first 10 goals, 5 or 6 of them came in the final like 15 minutes of the game.
Yeah, that was the early season stat.
Early part of the season. And then I was like, slow start to come in. Then we started coming out hot. And then it's like, we're not making like changes. And we started making changes. So it's like Almeida is like, and this is why I'm not mad at him anymore, because I was mad at him before we went on this little streak. So I'm not mad at him because you see he's finally making changes. Sometimes it just takes him a while to like finally kick it in. It's, can we put all the pieces of the puzzle together consistently and for multiple games? And obviously it's not going to happen every game, right? But like showing that heart we did at the end of the game, where it's like 80th minute, we're just gonna score. We're just gonna score. These last couple games where it's like, we're coming out hot. We're not gonna settle. And then like, kind of like when we've been on this run as well, we're making changes. We're in the lineup. We're willing to try things. We're not just gonna say do or die with our system. So if we could just do all of that together, and we get in the playoffs, I think it could be great. But because it takes us so long to get a kickstart into the
Right.
season these last 3 years. It's always if we get in the playoffs, not when we're in the playoffs.
Right. And like Seattle, usually the narrative is, oh, let's see if they get hot at the correct time when the playoffs start. They go to the MLS Cup because they're hot. But for us, it's let's see if we get hot to make the playoffs, like you said. So definitely different narratives there, and well deserved by Seattle. I mean, they're lights out every time. Even Jordan Morris is already practicing, so they add another piece to that team, right? So insane. Looking into the Minnesota game coming up quickly, I'm so glad that you stayed up late so we can do this quickly so I can already get this out. But the Minnesota United has come off of a 2-0 win versus Houston and a 2-2 draw at Vancouver. So a little bit of an unbeaten streak, actually. These guys are, I think, 5 unbeaten. They play LA Galaxy tomorrow. So very winded team. If they go really hard with this LA Galaxy team, we might see a completely different lineup than we did if you're going to watch the game tomorrow. So maybe that plays in our favor. We played a game a day earlier, so maybe that helps. What do you think about this Minnesota game coming up, Saz?
I think you bring up the only if kind of for me personally is like they do have like game, and then LA Galaxy is good. The two reasons I want to say like I don't care necessarily is because they're one of the top table teams this year. They're on a hot streak. They're doing well. And then back to good old, like there's the two old, it's MLS, anything can happen. And also they've kind of had our number, like Vancouver as well, right? Like we haven't necessarily historically done too hot against like Vancouver. And when we do beat them, it's like, it's a scrappy 4-5 win, right? Yeah. So it's like those cold northern teams, just like they, especially Minnesota, have just like had our number.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty sure, didn't they eliminate us in MLS's backup?
Yep. And then Vancouver eliminated us in the last playoffs, or not, before SKC, but in the last playoffs.
I don't remember the last time we like beat them like thoroughly throughout the series. Like LAFC, I feel like we have their, I don't want to say we have their number now, but we have their number. Actually, you know what? Yeah, we have Quakes podcast. We have their number. They trash. Right. I hate LAFC, dude. I don't even. I could do a 5-hour podcast on why they are so overrated. Anyways, we got LAFC's number because they're garbage. Anyways, it's gonna be a tough game. I would be fine with a draw in that game. We kind of need a win because we kind of got a draw in this game, but I would be fine with a draw in that game.
Yeah, if we come out of these two games, this little home stretch with 4 points, I'm happy. I'm happy with that. So if we get
we're playing, sorry to interrupt, but we're playing LA Galaxy 3 days after we play them.
Right. So yeah.
In LA. Yeah.
If we, you know what? I'm going to say we win against Minnesota because Almeida surprises me like that. I think we win 2-0. And we are happy again. That's going to be 9 unbeaten going into LA Galaxy. And let's see if we can do this kind of 10 unbeaten run. But it's not that awesome because Vancouver's on a 6 little unbeaten run. So it's like, what? Like, is everybody on an unbeaten run in MLS? So
I've kind of hinted at it, but I think this is the one, and I feel very confident saying this one. I think this is the season churner. This game is what I think this game could decide the season, because if you kind of look at our schedule, I think if we get a loss or we get a very unconvincing tie, we kind of look at it like, dude, we just went on it. We're on a 9-game unbeaten streak. I'm exhausted.
Right.
We have a game in 3 days. I'm not going to be ready for that. And we're still like 2 or 3 games out of maybe being in playoffs. So we're 2 games ahead of a lot of teams right now. But if we win the game and it's a convincing win and it's over someone we haven't won in a while, I think the spirits kind of get lifted again. And we look at this last game like, fluke, we weren't awake. We're awake. FLA, 3 days to prepare. Let's get ready for it.
Right.
We don't lose to LA. It's going to be a battle. And then maybe if we could pull out a tie or like even a convincing 2-1 loss, I think we still have some momentum because we'll get a little bit more of a rest. And September is going to be a heavy schedule again, but we're coming out of like the really hard part. So I think this could be a really big moral changer for the team.
Yeah, and it's exciting because we do need to get some wins because we're 2 games up on everybody. Everybody has like 17 games, 18 games, and we have 19 games. So all these teams can move up and down the standings. So definitely games that we need to win, like Saz was saying. Any players to watch next game?
Ooh, I'm personally gonna watch Jeremy.
Yeah.
Because I want to see if the chemistry is building every week. I mean, you got to see if Espinoza has to show up.
Yeah.
Like he makes or breaks the game for us. It is.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time we have won a game and it wasn't like Espinoza didn't have a good game.
Yeah, Cade Cowell usually shows up if we win in Espinoza. So either or, right? My player to watch is Cade Cowell. I want to see him start. He needs to start. So,
you agreed.
Yeah, he's our all-star, right? I mean, even if he's 17 years old, at the end of the day, if we can develop this guy, that's important too. So he needs to start. I hate to say Ewell's the man out or Shea Salina's the man out, but he needs to start, right? So
is Benji gonna be back for the next game?
No, so Benji's been out for a long time, and I don't think we're gonna see Benji for a little bit for a while. So
that sucks because I really think, like, obviously Jeremy I think like helps, but that 45 minutes where it was Cal, Espinoza, and Benji was incredible. Like the passing, the moving. I think that those three work so well together, and I think Jeremy, Cal, and Espinoza could work well together as well.
I think so too. I think that's what everybody wanted to see this game. So maybe since we didn't get the result that we wanted, we'll change the lineup a bit. I think Cade Cowell will start. We'll see.
I think Jeremy needs Cal. I think their style suits, because otherwise it turns into I'm a lone striker up here. Because Espinoza's job is really like, let me get the fast break started or let me light up some people, versus Cal, which is like, let me drag some people in. And Jeremy's really good at finding those spaces and running either behind him or dragging, like checking into space. Yeah. So I think that's why him and Cal work a little bit better. And then Espinoza is a good third man to that, because it brings in like we can't focus on these two on the left side because he's going to light us up. So that's where the balance comes in. I think back to like, not to harp on old like exes, right? But like, that's why like Vaca was my favorite player, but I think that's why Espinoza, I think that's why Espinoza lit up MLS that season. It's because like you give Vaca the ball to his feet, he's breaking a couple ankles along the way. Yeah. So it's like, oh, we got to watch Espinoza 2 or 3 on him. Oh, we can't have 2 or 3 not on him. And then it's like, then it opens up things.
Well, Vaca would always break too many ankles to start, right? Maybe he broke too many ankles and didn't pass it. So
I miss him so much. Yeah.
But it still gave some space to Espinoza to get that long shot, or that, that long shot outside of the box in, or to get at least maybe a rebound for Wando to get in or something. But
and I think that's something like I coach, and I think that's a lot like what people don't understand about the game. And I think that's where Cal would have been started. It's not Ultimate Team. It's not PSG, right? It's you can't just put your best players out there. Like, and while I think Cal is one of our best players, like sometimes you just need the pieces. Like Salinas, like I'll never forget it. Literally, one of his first interviews was saying that when he entered the league, he couldn't kick the ball with his left foot, which I don't know how a professional player can say that. But like sometimes he doesn't have the best games, but it's like he opens up spaces and he creates challenges, which opens up a different pocket. And that's why I'm convinced Almeida sees something in Fierro and Rios to start them. But yeah, like Cal in particular, it's like he just runs down the line and creates so much outlet for us and so much like draws so much attention. It opens up pockets for everyone else. Yeah. So I think that's just something people need to watch.
And just like bring up a basketball reference again, Steph Curry opens the floor for everybody. So if you are playing with Steph Curry, you get like maybe 2 feet extra from every single defender because he just has to be guarded all the way to the half court line. So that just makes the whole team shift a little more out.
And that's why it's scary when Clay is there, because it's like, because someone that's just as good at shooting. Like, yeah. And then like if you're doubling 2 people, there's 2 or 3 people open.
And then you bring in a guy like Andrew Wiggins, where he's a great slasher, maybe underrated in a different system. But this isn't a Dubs podcast. What's going on here? So I want to see those 3 guys up there, just how I want to see Steph, Clay, and Wiggins out there to see what they can brew up. But that's it for us, Saz. It's a pretty long episode for a 0-0 draw. But on the positives, clean sheet for JT, and we're still unbeaten in 8. Any last words?
No, just check out. Yeah, Fabian's got like much stuff. Telemundo. I'm just honored to be in the presence of a TV star out here.
No, not even. Trust me.
Superstar writer, famous on TV. Thanks for having me on again. It's always a blast. I'm sure we're gonna do more episodes together. I love coming on and watching you guys.
Yeah, no, trust me. I love it even more because now I don't have to watch your episode because I'm in it. I'm a huge fan of your guys' work. You can check them out at the Aftershock sjclub.club, right?
Yeah, there's like different ones. It's like aftershock.club if you want to go to our website. That kind of is like the home base of everything. You can look up Aftershock SJ, I believe, on social media accounts and YouTube. So yeah, that's the best way to find us. And then for our YouTube channels, one thing that we do that's kind of creative is we have 2 episodes per week on each game. We have one called the Full 90 and one called the Mixtape. The Full 90 episode is just like this, just a regular podcast. We're talking. It could be anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour, right? But sometimes we know you guys don't have that so much time. So we'll also do something called the Mixtape, where I just take the best moments of the episode and I'll do like little funny edits in them. I'll add background music. It's just a 5-minute recap of the episode. And if you're interested, you can watch the whole episode on the background. But if you can't make it, you'll just do a mixtape. And whenever I'm on these episodes, I just do the mixtape per episode. And if you want to listen to the full one, you can go to Tectonic Takes.
Perfect. And thank you so much for all the content that you make. I mean, I'm not a superstar. I'm still Favi. I'm still the fan that would go to Avaya and watch the Columbus Crew. What's going on? Yeah. No, but definitely. Thank you so much, Saz, for coming on. I want to thank all of our Patreon supporters and our sponsors. Thank you, the Beautiful Game Network, Roughneck Scarves, and Icarus FC for everything you guys do for us. And go Quakes.